Welcome back to Bike Extraction, where we don't just talk about motorcycles and scooters, we pull them apart, dig into their history, their quirks, and their impact. If you've ever wondered about machines that were ahead of their time, this one's going to surprise you. The Honda Big Ruckus PS250 is a scooter that never fit in. Some thought it looked unfinished, others thought it was genius. Honda called it a big scooter with real utility. But the world wasn't ready for it back in 2005. Today, with the rise of rugged adventure machines, the Big Ruckus feels like a concept that arrived 20 years too early. So what made it so unusual? Why did it disappear? And could it return in 2026 with a new purpose? When Honda launched the Big Ruckus, they weren't aiming for mass appeal. This wasn't a chic city runabout like the Vespa, nor was it a sleek sports scooter like Yamaha's Team-AX. The PS250 was designed to be utilitarian in the purest sense. Its frame was laid bare, exposing the skeleton of steel tubes. The plastics were kept to a minimum, giving it a stripped-down, military-grade personality. It was a machine built for function first, with styling that bordered on post-apocalyptic. Underneath that industrial design sat a 249 cubic centimeters, liquid-cooled, 4-stroke single. It made about 19 horsepower and 21 newton-meters of torque, figures that sound modest until you consider what the bike was designed to do. With Honda's automatic V-matic transmission, it was smooth and stress-free, whether navigating tight urban streets or cruising at 70 miles per hour on the highway. Unlike the small Ruckus 50, which topped out at neighborhood speeds, the Big Ruckus was a genuine highway-capable scooter, one you could commute on, tour with, or load down with gear. The versatility didn't end with the motor. The most talked about feature was the flat rear deck. Unlike a traditional scooter seat, this platform could be used in multiple ways. Riders could strap down luggage, boxes, or even camping equipment. Some converted it into a passenger seat, while others used it as a cargo hauler for daily errands. Honda essentially gave you a blank canvas, and that freedom made it one of the most practical scooters ever built. Ergonomics were another strength. The Big Ruckus offered a laid-back, cruiser-like riding position with a low seat height of about 28 inches, wide handlebars, and generous foot space. Even taller riders found it comfortable, something rarely said about scooters. The suspension setup, 33mm front forks and twin rear shocks with preload adjustment, was basic but dependable. Combined with its sturdy 12-inch wheels and stable frame, the PS250 handled urban potholes and suburban backroads without complaint. But the Big Ruckus wasn't just about specs, it was about attitude. The design polarized the market. Some dismissed it as ugly, even unfinished, while others loved its raw, industrial vibe. It looked like something from a science fiction movie, or a survival bike built for a world where utility mattered more than fashion. In a sea of smooth, plastic-wrapped scooters, the Big Ruckus stood out like a tank among compact cars. That boldness is what gave it a cult following, even as mainstream buyers hesitated. Still, the cult following wasn't enough to keep it alive. Sales were modest in both Japan and North America. The price was higher than many people expected for a scooter that looked stripped down, and casual buyers didn't see the appeal. By 2007, Honda quietly ended production. For most manufacturers, that would have been the end of the story. But the Big Ruckus never really disappeared. It became a hidden gem, a conversation starter at bike meets, and a machine that collectors now hunt down because of its rarity and eccentric charm. Fast forward to today, and the timing feels different. The market has changed. Adventure scooters like Honda's ADV 150 and ADV 350 are proving that riders want practical, rugged machines with a bit of attitude. Retro-styled bikes are booming, and even utility-focused designs are finally finding acceptance. A modernized Big Ruckus could sit perfectly in this space, appealing to commuters who want something more than just basic transport. In fact, many argue that the world has finally caught up to the PS250's original idea. If Honda were to revive it for 2026, the formula almost writes itself. Keep the rugged frame and exposed design, but pair it with a modern 300 cubic centimeters engine, LED lighting, ABS, and maybe even some adventure-style accessories like crash bars and optional panniers. The rear platform could be redesigned for even more versatility, catering to both solo riders and tourers. Pricing would likely start around $5,500 to $6,000 USD, making it more premium than the standard Ruckus but still accessible. It would not just be a scooter, it would be a statement, a machine for riders who want individuality and utility in the same package.